This revision video is about the Earth and the atmosphere, as it does come up on most years' papers, and it's normally a 4 or a 5 or 6 marker. So when you're faced with this question, first thing you do is read all the information and then start bugging the question. So it says, this Earth and its atmosphere today are not like the early Earth and its atmosphere. Okay, and it says, describe and explain how the surface of the early Earth and its atmosphere have changed to form the surface of the Earth and its atmosphere today. So you need to start bugging this question. So you need to box the command words, and underline the keywords. Okay, when you've done that, you need to go back and reread the question so you understand what is involved. So this Earth and its atmosphere today are not like the early Earth and its atmosphere. So you need to describe and explain how the surface of the early Earth and its atmosphere have changed to form the surface of the Earth and its atmosphere today. So from here, we would write down and look at the diagrams, okay, and maybe highlight keywords in the diagrams as well, because they're there to help you, and you'll be able to get some marks from looking at this as well. Now, you're ready to start answering the question. Before you plough into writing the full answer though, plan before you start. So I'd start writing down keywords that you want to use in this answer. So photosynthesis would be quite a key one. Okay, along with cooling oceans, carbon dioxide. Okay, and possibly volcanoes, even though it's already in the question as well. Now, to help you write this, you've got to think back to the different phases of what is going on. There is a 3-phase method, and they always often want to ask about one or all three. In this case, it's asking about all 3 phases of the Earth's atmosphere. So phase 1 is where you generally start writing. Okay, so in phase 1 there is lots of the volcanoes, linking back to that original picture. So the Earth's atmosphere is very hot. It's full of sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, and then as the Earth started to cool, okay, the water vapour that was produced starts to form the oceans. And continents appeared. Now, if you're aiming for the top grades here, you could even name the first continent, okay, and that would be, say, Pangaea, okay, which eventually split and forms into separate continents. And that covers how the Earth has changed from the beginning to today. going into the next phase of the Earth's atmosphere, carbon dioxide is being absorbed by the oceans and also locked up in carbonate rocks. And finally, oxygen is starting to increase because now plants and algae are completing photosynthesis, so taking in carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen. Okay. Now, due to that, okay, we then links in to phase 3. Where now there is enough oxygen in the atmosphere for the animals to start to evolve, which they can take in and use for respiration. Now you've had a look at this, I would pause the video and have a look back over it, okay, and try and think of some other keywords for yourself. In science and other subjects, you have been using Write Like an Expert grids for a while now, so we've also created one of these for this question. So if you then, when you've repaused and back watching, if you now want to have a look at the Write Like an Expert grid, okay. So these are the keywords we've identified that would be really useful for this question, with the easier ones on the left hand side, and the other scientific useful terms are for the top grades to be able to get into this. Now I'd pause the video again, okay, in a moment, so you can now have a practice on an exam question yourself. So the exam question is, this one happens to be just a 4-mark question. It says, some theories suggest that the Earth's early atmosphere was like the atmosphere of Mars today. It's given you a table with some information, and first task, it wants you to complete the table by writing a percentage of nitrogen in the Earth of today. And then finally, the 4-mark question, it says, describe the main differences between the Earth's early atmosphere and the atmosphere today. So that's applying what you've just learnt from this video into another question. I want you to have a go. There will be a mark scheme attached to these, okay, and then try and mark it yourself.